Hi there. We're going to have another little go at some tactics. So we're going to do the tactics trainer on chess.com. And I was reading, should I say, the feedback that you guys gave me. And thanks for all the feedback. It's always good to get loads of feedback. I do listen to it, even if I don't have time to type a response to everything. And what I thought I'd do this time, as you can see, there's a weird little clock up there. I thought because the puzzles I've done so far have been, should we say, a little bit easy in a way. So I thought I'd do a mixture of the two previous videos I've done. So I'm going to start the clock in a minute and just do 5 minutes of me solving as quickly as I can in those 5 minutes as many puzzles as I can. So I won't be explaining them as in-depthly, as deeply. But if you want to, just fast forward, if you don't want to see that part of the video, to the next part, which is after 5 minutes, because then I will go through at a lower, and I will take my time without the stopwatch and explain what I'm thinking. The idea is, if I solve a lot in the first 5 minutes, the puzzles will get harder, so they'll be more interesting for us to go through. So I hope I explained that. But basically, 5 minutes of me on the clock, 5 minutes of me explaining it. So let's just get cracking, shall we, in a second. I'll tell you one more thing I'm going to do. I'm just going to bring up a little box here of, should we say, my stats and stuff. So let's just put that somewhere where it's not going to get too much in the way. That should show. Should show. God, that's a hard word to say. Should show. Seashells on the seashore should show. Just what's going on. Okay, so here we go then. So let's get cracking. So I'm going to start the puzzle and start the clock. Are we off? We're off. Okay. Your move. Rook C1's been played. Okie dokie. Oh my words, is it already throwing a tricky one at me? That's a bit weird. It shouldn't be doing this to me. I have a number of checks here. This is not... Or do I try to trap the queen? Do I go knight B6, trapping the queen? That is the move. Okay, the queen was in trouble, and now I'm just going to win the queen, and that should be the one. Okay, that was a bit trickier than I thought. Okay, what the hell is going on here? Oh my words. This is getting trickier already. Where does my knight go? So, where does the king go? His king wants to go there. So, oh my words, right. Let me think. So I have the pawn here. This is a weird one. So I have knight check here. Where would his king go? If his king goes to any of these two squares, I have check here. If it goes there, I have check there. If his king goes there, check. I have a bishop check here. Then his king goes here. Then I have another bishop check. His king goes here. I'm pretty sure it is this check. Let's go for it. This check. Is it this check? King goes here as guessed. And now I was thinking it was this bishop check here. And his king has to go here, of course. And then I was thinking it was this bishop check here, which is the one. And this, let me just get my thinking correctly. And I was hoping that we're going to go and mate him here. And this was, God, what I had in mind. But now I'm looking at check here. He has to move his king. This is not easy. I thought I had this position in my head, but now I've got to it. Okay, so check here. Check here. Right, what's happening now? Well, I have to check. I have to go for this check here. And his king will go to this square. And now I was thinking this check, because if I go this check, his king can't go here. It has to go here. But then we need a nice little move there, do we not? So is there something better here? No, it's got to be this check. It's got to go here. And now where is the finish? Blooming heck, this is a tricky one, isn't it? What are they trying to do? This is like a 6-move combination. Okay, right, and I saw most of this up to here. I have cheated a little bit, because you should work this out from the start, but I'm trying to do it on the clock. And in a game, if you can't work it all out, you play the moves you think. So I'm doing what I would do normally. But how on earth... Okay, now I need to threaten bishop here, checkmate. So king to this square would be very interesting. King G8, threatening bishop F7, checkmate. Now, is there anything better here? Now this check here would repeat the position. We can't do that. So I think it has to be king somewhere. I don't want to move my king here because it'd have a lot of checks. If I move my king to G6, does that help me at all? Problem is, if I go king here, he goes queen here. What on earth? Why are these puzzles getting so much more tricky? I did want them to, so I shouldn't complain too much. What is the solution? Okay, so time running out here already. Okay, so let's have a think. Let's just take our time here. I'm sure it is the King G8 move, but after Queen here, what is the next move there? Can't see the next move. Is it then Knight here? Coming Knight here? That's probably right. But why is it different having my King here or here? I don't understand. Let's see. King here, Queen here, Knight here. Incorrect. Oh, my word, it's the first one I got wrong. I thought this was the move. I played it quickly to bring the knight to f6. But it's not. It's not. What is the solution there? What is the solution? Queen f2. And what did I do wrong? Is it some very... What is the move here? Fascinating puzzle, this one. That's the first one I've got wrong. Disappointed in myself there. Disappointed. What is the solution to this one, though? It really is... It really is. Are we trying to just draw this one? Really? Or is that all we're trying to do? But we had a draw earlier, didn't we? So we're trying to win, clearly. And what am I missing? Knight h3. Could it really be that move there? Knight here? That's the only other move that I can see as a possibility. Can't see anything else as a possibility. Incorrect again! Wow, it stumped me. Okay, it stumped me. Queen here. So I've got everything right so far. And... is it some move now with the bishop coming to the other diagonal? All I need to do is calm down and think about that a little bit more. I think this could be it. We've got to bring the bishop to this diagonal. How did I miss that? This must be the move. And now, well, I don't think that was correct. But now this one is the solution. Oh, my words. Oh, no, there we go. Oh, I've dropped my rating a bit there, haven't I? That was a very tough one. Okay, right, I'm going to get rid of the clock. I might try that again because I'm a bit disappointed with my performance there. And we're now going to go through some puzzles with me talking about what I'm thinking of while I do them. So that was disappointing. I should have got that one. The clock freaks me out too much, you know. Okay, anyway, let's try now with some basic thinking. So I will explain these ones. No pressure of the clock. Let's take our time. Okay, so... what's happening here? Well, my opponent's just taken here. Looks like a pretty standard position here. And, well, I think the solution is very simple. It's winning a piece. Because when I take here check, this knight's going to be on pre. So I'm looking for checks and captures in this position. And I'm thinking queen takes knight check. Then his king has to go here to h8. Then if I took the knight on d4 straight away... we have to see that I've got a hanging piece. Hanging pieces, be careful of hanging pieces. So how can I make my piece not hanging? Well, I flick in a rook takes rook check first to divert his queen away, and then I take his hanging piece. So let's just show this. So queen takes here check, king h8, and now I don't take the knight first because I got hanging piece. I take the rook first, and then I take this one here. And, well, in this position, we're going to see now, because my piece not hanging and piece up. Okay, well, that was, I have to say, I'm still disappointed about that other puzzle, which was bloody hard. Okay, so e takes d5. The first thing I notice here, and you've got to get in the habit of noticing things quick and fast, his back rank is incredibly weak. If I get a rook down there, the eagle will land. Now, what else can I do? The other thing I could try is a rook c1 idea. And then to try and take this rook here. But I'm not so sure about that. So rook takes b6, he goes rook c8. And it looks like he's covered then, does he not? I think he's covered. So this one's not jumping out at me, because the only way I can see to do this is by getting a rook to e1, a rook to b6, or a rook to c8. So I'm using a process of elimination. Let's do this methodically. Let's imagine we're in a game. Let's do them one at a time. Let's not jump from one line of thought to the next, which I was doing in that one. I failed. I was jumping. I wasn't calculating correctly. So here I'm going to start with one move. Rook takes b6. Before I play it, let's extinguish all possibilities with that move. So rook takes b6. Rook c8 looks like the most sensible way to try and defend. And now, after rook c8, I don't have rook c1 there because he goes queen takes c1, and I'm the player who gets back spanked whoosh, So we don't do that. We don't take here. Rook c8. I can't see a good move there. I can't see a good move in that position. So I'm going to not look at rook b6 anymore. I'm now going to look at rook e1. Does rook e1 help me? I think it might do. Rook e1, okay. And rook e1 is threatening this check here. So let's say he goes rook c8 again. So I'm moving rook on fe1, rook c8. Now, I can now combine the two plans that are weak in his position, the back rank and the possible skewer on the c-file. So rook e1, rook c8. I'm going to try to now play rook on bc1. Because now my back rank is covered, my bishop and my rook on e1 covered a rook on c1. Now, if he plays queen takes rook, I win, I'd be a piece up. So he has to move his queen and defend his rook on c8. So queen f5, defending his rook on c8. And then do I have a win in that position? So I'm picturing a position with a rook on c1, rook on e1, rook on c8, queen on f5. Play through it yourself if you want to, but my first move's here. So can I see a win there? I'm trying to think as deeply as I can till I can distinguish this variation. Can I see a win there? Now, let's have a think. If I take here, he goes queen takes. His back rank is covered, so I can't actually see a win there. So I'm just going to think through this myself. You can do the same at home as well. No, so what the solution is, now I've got it, we're going to mix the variations around. So I'm just using the process of elimination. I've discounted the direct attempt to back rank checkmate him. So I've discounted rook takes b6 and rook e1. But now the solution becomes very easy. The solution now I see, we're finding the two weaknesses, his back rank and the skewer here. So the solution is, and I should have got this straight away, is to go rook c1 straight away. When he moves his queen, he has to move his queen to defend his rook. I simply go rook takes rook, queen takes rook, and then the other rook comes to c1. And then he can't deal with both threats because his queen can't defend the c8 square. So that took a little bit too long, this one. But it's better to get it right, as we found out in that last one, than to get it wrong. And this now is the easy solution, and the computer wants me to play it all the way out there. Okay, so let's now move on to another one. Okay, so here my opponent is threatening to queen, but his king is lacking any squares that it can possibly escape to. Now I need to check the king, and it'll be game over. Knight e6 springs out at me as a very good move. Knight e6. Now then he might better check me. If he does, okay, knight e6, because the idea of pawn takes, I go king takes and f7 checkmate. But is there something that doesn't look quite right? So I'm just now working through the moves. Knight e6 to try to come here was an idea. Knight a6, much better move, because knight a6, he can't take my knight, and if he goes rook takes knight, I have rook d8 checkmate. And if he queens, I go knight takes c7 checkmate, and if he defends his c pawn, I will go knight takes c7, rook takes c7, and again it's his back rank. So I saw my first thought was knight e6. I did that one. I processed as quickly as I could that if pawn takes knight, I don't have enough chances because his king can always come to f7. So then I was looking at other ways to use my knight, and I found that knight a6 is the correct solution. This is just a spite check. We can obviously take that one. And the point of this is I'm going to go rook d8 at some point. At some point, rook d8 is coming. So next puzzle. Let's try another one. Okay, so white has gone bishop here. This looks to be quite simple to me. I'm thinking now this pin on his rook is really important. How do I break through? And the first thing that springs to mind is violence. I'm looking for force moves. And here, if your first move is correct, obviously you get the puzzles a lot quicker. But you have to go through this process of elimination. The first move I'm thinking of is rook takes bishop. And I don't even need to look at other lines if this is going to work. Because if I go rook takes bishop, he has to play pawn takes rook, because his rook is pinned. Do I have a good move there? Well, g4, because my knight is defending g4. I'm attacking his queen. I'm attacking his rook. If he moves his queen, I simply take on f3, and that's going to be crushing. So I don't see any reason to look at any other lines except for this. And now he's gone rook here, so got to be careful because he's threatening a checkmate, but let's just keep it simple, swap the queens off, and this is going to be leading to a winning position. So that was quite a simple one, I think. Okay, now we're moving to another one, and here straight away, bang. God, this one is quite easy because I'm looking at his king. His king is trapped on the c file and on the e file, but at the moment, if I try checking his king with a move like rook e6, his king will run away to c7 or c5. So what I need to do here is to maneuver, get an obstacle out the way so that rook to e6 check will be a lot stronger. So the obstacle in the way is this knight. Imagine this knight's not on the board. Then rook e6 would be checkmate. So by doing this, we can clearly see I don't need to look at any other options. I looked at rook e6 as my first move. I realised very quickly his king will run to safety. Don't want to let his king run. My second move, moving down, process of elimination, is therefore thinking logically to open up the rook. So I'm going to go knight b5 check, and as soon as he takes it, now rook e6 is checkmate. So we can now move on to another one. Okay, knight takes knight being played, and here, well, clearly his king is in quite a lot of danger here. What moves do we have? Well, let's go for this one by one. I mean, my first instincts would be rook takes bishop, but well, we should stick with it, shouldn't we? Because it might not look like the obvious move, but very quickly I can see if I go pawn takes knight, he goes bishop takes bishop, and that's not good for me. But if I go, like, for example, I could also go bishop takes bishop and then take on e5, but I like rook takes bishop because after something like knight takes, I have a queen h6 check, and I keep my bishop here. And this bishop is an incredibly strong pin. And it's really, when his knight comes to f6, I want to use this pin. So I think this is actually just thinking about the pins. We can see after this here. Now, just to make this as accurate as possible, do I check on h6 first, or do I take the knight? Now, I think I go pawn takes knight, because I think this check just helps his king move off a dark square. But if I go pawn takes knight, we can see that when I take on f6, the bishop is going to be check. Why help his king move to a better square? Okay, let's move on to another one. I'm still annoyed that I didn't get that first one right. Okay, rook e7. Now, he is at the moment just about defending everything. So what am I thinking of here? Well, I'm thinking of a couple of options. Number one is rook takes pawn. This is the move that would spring to me in a game, rook takes pawn. And it looks, to be honest, to be quite a good option. Because rook takes pawn, I'm bringing in another attacker because my bishop, rook and queen are attacking. So rook takes pawn, it looks good. Is it good enough? He can go queen h3 check, but then I take the queens off and I go rook takes e7 check, winning a piece. So rook takes pawn. Is there anything wrong with this simple move? Threatening check here. Well, he can go king here, king f7, but then surely there must be a discovered check with a bishop. Some check somewhere. Let's have a think where, just to calculate a little bit deeper. So rook takes here, king f7. Well, I just go rook takes e7 check, winning at the end. That's the worst case scenario. So in a game, I'd be very tempted to play this. Now, let's just have a look, because there's a bit of, I can smell a bit of danger here if there's something better. Now, if I go bishop takes bishop, rook takes bishop, is there any way in there? It looks like his rook and his thing's defending. I've got rid of his pin, so don't really like that one. Is there some crafty move with queen takes c6? No, because e7 is defended. So I'm trying to work out what is wrong with rook takes pawn. Is there something stronger? Is there some way I can get my queen to b3 in? Looks very slow. I don't believe it. So I'm going to go for this one. I mean, that one was so easy, it fooled me. Sometimes the simple is good, and that shows you why. Don't get yourself all confused. Look at the simple moves first. Okay, so my opponent's gone b5. His king is in a lot of trouble. And I'm automatically looking at mating nets now with rook e7 check. Now, rook e7 check, he can't go king f8. We also use the process of elimination for our opponent's moves. Because if he goes king f8, knight d7 is checkmate. So rook e7, he has to go king d8. Now, in that position, I have a couple of checks. So I'm just going to work out which one I prefer, if indeed I'm going to play either of these moves, because I also have f7. So this requires, again, more calculation. I mean, this check looks kind of natural, but the more I'm thinking about it, if I check king d8, if I check again, knight takes f7, he goes king c8. And I don't really see what I'm doing with these checks, because his king's running away. My pieces are not doing so much. I've got this f-pawn. Maybe I should be thinking about using this somehow. So, is there a better move here? Okay, is there a better move? That is the question. And this one is a bit trickier than the other ones. We will get it. I mean, check here. Let's just do that check again. So I process of elimination, not confuse myself. Check king here. Now, knight check doesn't help, I'm sure. Now, if I go rook check, he has to go to c8, because if he goes to e8, I have f7. So rook check, king c8. Process of elimination. I've got my rook here. He's got his king here. I can go f7. He goes rook f8. Doesn't seem to be helping me. So let's not go for rook e7 check. Unless there's something very crafty there. Again, I can't quite see the craftiness. So other options here. Well, if I go rook to over here straight away, he can play rook takes pawn check. So that's also not good. Now, another thing I could do is go rook check and f7. Then he goes rook f8. Or even rook f6 check. I don't fully believe that either. So this one is indeed a little bit trickier than some of the other ones we've had. So need to think of other options on move 1 here. And let's just see. So this is not as easy as I thought. Looks like his king should be in serious trouble. So I'm just going to have a little think here. You can think along with me. Maybe I've missed something obvious. It doesn't seem my brain is working as well as it has done today. So let's just have a little... Maybe this is simple. Maybe it's just rook e7 check. King here. Maybe I shouldn't be mating him. Maybe I should just be going knight f7 check and rook takes knight. Like the last puzzle, because that should be a winning position. It is a winning position, but I just thought there should be a mate here. But in actual fact, this way of just picking up the knight, I've looked at everything else. I can't see anything else. So I think this simple way of just taking the knight is the solution. Okay, I was thinking there should be a checkmate there or a way to queen the pawn, but in actual fact, again, the simple solution was the correct solution there. Okay, let's finish with one more, and I'll try to talk my way through one more, and let me know how you think about this. I'm a bit annoyed I got stumped with that combination a while back. That was me trying to rush things with the stopwatch, and let me know how you'd like me to continue this in future. But let's try one more. I'll talk it through as much as I can, the next one. And again, if you think I'm being a little bit schizophrenic, do tell me. I'm trying to talk out loud. I'm trying to use the process of elimination. One more puzzle, and let's try to work this one out. So, well, okay, immediately his king is in serious doodah here. Now, I think I know the solution already, but I just want to check. Now, h4 check, we look at the most forcing moves first. He will move his king to h6. And his king on h6 seems to help him. That seems to help him out. Now, the solution here is I would love to get some combination with my rook coming to h4 check when his king comes over here. Now, what key piece is holding his defense together? That's what you need to ask yourself. Now, I've looked at some checks, so quickly, just to tell you what I was thinking, h4 check helps him. His king runs away. Rook g4 check. Well, his king can even come towards the centre there. King f5, king e6. I should be mating him here. His king's in trouble. Bishop f6 check does not work because he goes knight takes bishop. Other moves, can I play a slow move here? Well, I could do, but they don't seem to force checkmate. You should be looking at checks and captures. Now, bishop f6 check would be a lovely move to play if I could follow up with rook h4 mate if he had to move his king. But he goes knight takes bishop, and that's the only piece that's stopping the combination from working. So what do I need to do here? Well, I need to get rid of this knight whilst keeping my two aggressive pieces, the bishop and the other rook. So this rook is an irrelevant piece for this combination, so we simply take it, and now he takes back. He could have thrown a check in with his rook. That wouldn't have helped him. My king would sneak its way around and he'd run out of checks. And here now we can play our combination bishop check, king moves, and rook h4 checkmate. So, okay, so there we go. And I'll leave it at that for now. Give me your feedback again. I've only just started this series, so I don't know if it's good or bad. I'll try to combine ideas there. Probably what I'll do alternative videos, timed explaining. I'm bloody annoyed that I didn't get that one right. That was a very hard combination, but what I did there, I rushed into it. I mean, I think if you go back to that combination I didn't get right, I had the right ideas, and I could see that I didn't even need to calculate all the way through, because all the ideas are pretty forcing that I was playing. But then in the critical position, I rushed the move when I shouldn't have rushed. I was timed, I freaked out, and that shows some weakness in my own ability. I should be more calmer. I should take my time. And you know, that's something I learned I can improve from myself, so that helped me. I suggest you get on chess.com, try these yourselves. Great way to improve. If I'm already seeing weaknesses in my game, must be able to help you. And the other thing I was doing there at the end when I was going through it with you was this process of elimination. And it's recognizing patterns, jumping in with your first move, recognizing also your opponent's key pieces. Which of his pieces are key for defense? If they are keeping his position together, as in this one, can you eliminate them? Always start with checks and captures, eliminate them, eliminate your opponent's defenses, take your time, do not rush, and you only get better. So I'm going to leave that there for now. Thank you very much for this little tactics video. A bit crazier than the other ones, I think. Please give me your feedback, whether it's good, bad, or bloody ugly. That's why I'm here. See ya until next time.